so Christmas is Yugoslavia. Is that what this song's about? Wait a second, when was this released? 1994. So Mariah Carey already had 4 years of dealing with the collapse of Yugoslavia. No wonder she was so sad. Breaking, Santa Claus has been granted permission to enter Irish airspace. Good to know. He really needs to be careful over a country like Iran, though. Now that I think about it, Santa Claus has got to be the greatest pilot of all time. Can you imagine how many fighter jets try to intercept him every year? Least based Finnish person.
My name is Matti, and I'm from
Speaking of
Finland.
Santa Claus, doesn't he come from Finland?
Today, in Finland, the parliament voted for homo to marry.
Wait,
and
is this
there are
historical
people who
footage?
say, no homo.
Man, his English is really
But
good.
I say, no, no homo.
Wow.
In Finland, we homo.
This knowledge would easily kill a modern-day person. This is the flag from one of Napoleon's massive ships. I'm just gonna phrase it like that because I don't think I can pronounce that word. It is the size of a tennis court, and due to its fragile nature, has not been on display for more than 100 years. How long do you think this thing would last if we did just start playing a tennis game on it? What happened to us as human beings? Why don't we make massive freaking flags again like this? Julius Caesar's death simplified.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, everyone says, I think I'll just put a knife.
Beautifully.
It just slides right in. It's almost like he was meant for this. Why is this oddly so horrific? Imagine this is your sleep paralysis demon. Today I will steal a horse in Florida. Yeet. Oh no. Looks like this man's gonna have to face the consequences of his own actions. He should have remembered in the state of Florida, the punishment for stealing a horse is still hanging. It's literally still written in their law. I expected nothing else from Florida. My view from a large corporate company versus some random guy's view making soap in China. This is why China's winning. Rickroll exists. Then there's Italy. Wait, that's illegal. Apparently you can't rickroll anyone in Italy. Since I possibly just rickrolled Italians, am I going to jail now? My friend, why are you playing Half-Life in Spanish? Why? This is why.
¡Ay, la puta! ¡Salí de acá!
It's actually great voice acting. Sounds like a Lethal Company voice chat. Fun fact, Half-Life devs killed a Spanish guy and recorded it for this voice line. Do women still like flowers, or I gotta buy the Saddam propaganda watch? You can buy them flowers, but it's definitely not gonna hit as hard as this. I mean, offer this to me and I'm gonna marry you immediately. Germans have unhinged insult game. This word, which means warm shower taker. This one, which wears socks to bed. Finally, this one, which means person who waves back to the Teletubbies. I feel like if anyone called me this, my life would be over. There's no coming back from this stuff. Kids react to Basil II's blinding the Bulgarians. Finally, some good Fine Bros content again. Who wouldn't want to watch this? Spider bite equals, well, Spider-Man, obviously. Then there's iron burning, which equals, oh my god. I don't know what else I expected. I'm gonna buy 10 irons immediately. The authentic pronunciations of different countries' car brands.
BMW.
Bugatti.
Citroën.
DS.
Ferrari.
Oh my gosh.
Ford.
We are massively
No hemos
mispronouncing.
encontrado ningún japonés en Honda y creo que sería la respuesta correcta
Wait, I
Honda.
thought this was gonna be a meme. The Spanish man pronounced that perfectly.
Jeep.
The Americans. I don't know, it's just really funny to hear the Americans say the American brand names. This is just making me realize how much the native speakers must cringe when we Americans say in our accent what we think it's pronounced as. Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Italian, all hovering around Latin. Then there's Incel Romania. Everyone always forgets they're a Latin language as well. It's funny because this is kind of how they look also geographically too. They're literally out here in the corner by themselves. Totalitarianism destroys our memories of the past, our perception of the world, and the human spirit itself. A normie completely missing the point of the book 1984. Hope and faith are powerful things, even in the bleakest of circumstances. A normie completely missing the point of Children of Men. Fascism is a destructive ideology, and while freedom isn't always easy, it's worth fighting for. Again, missing the point of V for Vendetta. So many people just completely missing the actual message here. Now, this is obviously just a joke, but I completely forgot all of these three do take place in the UK. What do roosters do? The roosters may break up hen fights, find and give treats to the hens, encourage egg laying, and even monitor the nest boxes. Roosters are beautiful. Roosters are classic farmyard icons, and they're gorgeous to look at in many cases. Roosters have a lot of personality. Did a rooster write this? It would definitely explain some of the spelling mistakes. Maybe there's just a large community of rooster stands out there. Others, it's only a boring World War II game. Meanwhile, Germans...
Excuse me, are you American spy?
Oh.
We are here in Wehrmacht.
Deutsch oder nicht?
speak German? Deutsch oder nicht? Ich warte auf den Schießbefehl.
So easy for them to find us. I wish I enjoyed anything as much as Germans enjoy World War II games. Well, that or their obsession with simulation games. Go away, Roman Empire, carrier of war. But I also carry roads. Aw, it's for war. God dang it. Well, I mean, yeah, they didn't have cars back in those days. What else was it for? Pirates are just tropical goths. I literally never made this connection before. So all we have to do is find a way to put them back in the ocean and we get pirates again. The answer has been right in front of us this whole time. Mathematicians, just multiply by dx. No, derivatives aren't fractions. You can't make whatever. Meanwhile, physicists, is a cow a sphere? Yes, obviously. Well, now I know why I never liked math back in the day. The Grand Duchy of Luxembourg announces that it will triple the size of its army due to fears of invasion from both France and Germany. There's 137 men in the Luxembourgish army, but this radical and controversial 300% increase will bring the size to over 400. It was actually a live update from this tiny country in Europe back in 1923. I literally thought this was like an old football team they took a picture of. Our local Mexican restaurant used to be a Chinese restaurant. Instead of painting over a mural, they just put sombreros on the pandas. This is the perfect representation of work smarter, not harder. This is so much more epic than whatever they would have replaced it with. I'm coming over. You better not be playing dumb map games again. Meanwhile, me, literally gonna be waiting outside my house for 12 hours. I don't have time to open the front door for it. White invader oofs a Japanese warrior, takes his place in their honor-bound culture and home and marries his wife. This makes over $100 million in Japan, one of the highest grossing films there. Tom Cruise has been a huge star in Japan ever since this movie was released. What did Japan mean by this? Referring to the film The Last Samurai? I was trying to do a thought experiment, like what if like the reverse happened? Like what if there was a film about a Japanese invader that oofed a cowboy, then got with his wife, started learning the culture, only eventually to come fight alongside hand in hand with the cowboys themselves. Dude, that would be so awesome. I want to watch that. You can't tell me a bunch of Americans wouldn't love that too. Why don't they make this movie? I'm actually like, I'm sold on this now. I despise that America has a folktale of a Titan-sized lumberjack with a giant blue ox and no piece of media has ever thought to use it in any way. I mean, no piece of media isn't exactly accurate, but they should definitely do a remake. We need more Paul Bunyan propaganda. If the Titanic was filmed in Houston. Those potholes are devastating. This work is so tough. Yes, but in 3,000 years, we will still be remembered. Definitely made by aliens. I mean, in a way, it's so incredible that it's hard for us to even believe it. But yeah, in a way, it's so incredible, it's hard for us to even believe it. Going above and beyond. Never in my 20 years of teaching has a substitute left a note this bad. How many times are they going to give this speech throughout the year? I've heard it at least 7 times so far. Discord server 1 to Discord server 2, don't. Military base 1 to War Thunder Forum 1, do. Oh, those are classified documents. Okay, wait. There are way too many people in the War Thunder community that actually believe this. Don't do that. Mickey Mouse is sacred. Only Disney can use his likeness. Be honest. I am being honest. When does Mickey Mouse enter public domain? Well, technically in 2024. Thank you. This has already happened several times. They always find a way to not let Mickey Mouse enter public domain. It will never happen. Planetary chocolates sold in Japan. Perfect gift for your crush who loves chocolate but says, I need some space. Oh, I thought this is what you meant, babe. I feel like this could possibly work if you did it the right way. Such a difficult life in Canada. Ukrainian immigrants leaving because it's so expensive. Refugees from a war-torn country, also regular Canadians. They're literally going back? This room is currently being advertised for $2,500 US a month in central London. I thought this was about to be one of those prisons in Norway posts. Funny because the prisons in Norway are pretty nice. Not $2,500 a month nice. Another dub for the prisons of Norway because those things are free. How Americans describe other Americans living in an identical state an hour away.
He's not loyal to a flag.
Oh yeah, I've heard this audio before. Yes. Not even in an identical state an hour away. Talk about a 30-minute county away. 1940s Icelandic woman be like, finally I can marry someone besides my 60-year-old heavily inbred first cousin. Meanwhile, the Icelandic government at this time, yeah. Apparently Iceland was facing a depopulation back in even those days. A lot of the women were marrying allied soldiers that were stationed there. The Icelandic government didn't like that. Nobody. Meanwhile, the North Korean generals. This is the most North Korean man I've ever seen in my life. He's not even close to being like a top one. This is just a regular soldier. 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh, this is nice. 60 degrees Celsius. My skin is burning. 60 degrees Kelvin. I'm on the surface of, is that Pluto? Versus 60 degrees, what is R again? Regardless, it's so cold here, my unborn grandson is going to be frozen. I don't even know what that means. R stands for the Rankine scale, the absolute temperature scale related to Fahrenheit. Oh, that's almost negative 400 degrees Fahrenheit in Rankine. America is number one in healthcare costs. That is, America is number one in healthcare costs. Well, that's first place in something. When my country stops using nuclear energy because it's too dangerous and switches to coal burning. I wonder who we're talking about. I wonder. French people, when you ask them how they spell worm towards green and glass, I don't think it's actually that bad. Verse, verte, vera. It's not that bad. Meanwhile, English, yeah, I knew that was gonna come up. Balkans, cat edition. Beautiful Turkey and Greece, Cyprus and Macedonia. We've got Bulgaria. There's also Italy and Romania, Moldova and Albania. Here's Kosovo, Croatia and Montenegro, Bosnia, Serbia, and of course, Slovenia. I don't know which country should be more angry at this. My patrons on Patreon, thank you. KirinoIsBestGirl. Sebby, if you hear this, I love
Jack
you.
Traven's annoying friend.
I can't sleep without Drew's
Drew
voice.
on
Your dad, back with the milk. Look outside. Amateur archaeology.
A fat normal.
Carmel S.
Fredrik Tibblin.
GoodOldRyah.
InquisitorXarius.
Mexican. JohnDenver. KirinoIsBestGirl. Lemons Lines.
LuxembourgLover.
Ortin 5610.
Robert
RyeThePie.
TheGreatRalphy.
And ZaneyBoi